Sophie Toyne is a country singer on the rise. She's already won a Golden Guitar Award and is now set to release a very special song.
The song was written by the now Sydney-based Sharon O'Neill for her debut album in 1978, but it never made the cut and has never been heard until now.
Just a stone's throw from Auckland's unrelenting motorway sits an oasis called Hywick House, a grand homestead built by the Buckland family in 1862 and now open to the public thanks to Heritage New Zealand and Auckland Council. Today, it's a museum and a venue for hire, and the perfect place for a young country singer to film a music video for a song written by one of our all-time greats.
Sharon O'Neill.
Sharon O'Neill has penned so many great songs, so many era-defining bangers, so many absolute classics. Surprisingly, Sophie hasn't picked one of Sharon's most famous tunes to launch her career, but a song that's been lost for 47 years. More on that in a moment. But first, let's meet the 15-year-old singing sensation from Whanganui.
Who am I gonna be? One night, me and my family were at a family barbecue and family friends of ours overheard me singing, and they told Mum and Dad that I should start getting singing lessons.
Sophie's quest to sing led her to the Whanganui Country Music Club and eventually all the way to Gore's famous Golden Guitar Festival.
For me, it was a massive step up. Even walking into I think it's a stadium with just all these rows of chairs. It was my first massive audience and it was quite scary, but once I'd got up on that stage for the first time, I absolutely loved it.
And Gore loved her back, awarding her with the Junior Golden Guitar Trophy. But the road that led Sophie to Sharon's lost song goes back a little further.
Did I light a candle? Did I walk beside you this morning?
At Christmas 2 years ago, Christmas Day,
I entered a competition on the radio. I think it was called The Voice of Christmas or something, and Dick Lafort was driving with his wife and he heard me singing. And
Sophie got second. I thought she was by far the best of the three.
And so he thought, wow, I want to offer her to come to my studio and sing, which he did.
Having come from Wanganui, I thought, well, maybe I could do something for her. So I rang one of my muso mates in Wanganui and said, have you heard of the Toyne family up there? And he said, yes, I have. I said, well, get hold of them, please. I want to talk to Sophie.
Dick began recording with Sophie at his home studio in Wellington, just like he'd done 47 years earlier.
Okay, this is a take.
Back when he was recording Sharon O'Neill's debut album at Radio New Zealand.
Dad, can I have some more drums, please?
Sure.
Because I'm getting a bit out of time.
Okay, bass or snare?
I think both.
On Sharon's first album, which we did so long ago, now it was 40 odd years ago, there was one track on it that the record company didn't want to use.
A track that Dick thought would be perfect for Sophie.
Well, Dick Lafort, I have so much respect for and much to thank him for, because he actually helped me get my record deal in the first place, and he, for want of a better word, he schlepped my songs around. But he was aware of that song, that never having made the album, and got in touch with me and mentioned that he was doing work with this young singer
So with Sharon's blessing, Dick set about producing the long-lost song for Sophie.
I was the beggar who came to your door in the morning, and I was the soldier who asked that forgiveness was free, and I was the child who carried the candle and sang in the choir when the service was over. Your eyes in the back row were distantly looking at me.
I wrote it in the 70s, so I have to cast my mind back a long time. What was I thinking? It's a little bit about innocence, and it touches on a little bit about music being a little bit of a healer, you know, which for me, it has always been and probably always will be, because I think it's one of the most amazing medical tools.
When I was a child who carried the candle and sang in the choir when the service was over.
When I first heard it, to be honest, it was such a moment, because I'm like, wow, Sharon O'Neill has given me this song. She hasn't released it yet, and I'm kind of doing that on behalf of her. She was supposed to release it in one of her albums, and yeah, it was kind of just the moment, and I was like, wow. And then the song, it was just, I don't know, it just all kind of...
When I heard it, I didn't know what to expect, because she's really young. And I thought, well, how's she going to interpret that? But it sounded beautiful. I mean, to me, it was like, thank you, Sophie. That sounds so lovely.
And it's all such a long time since you came to a service of mine, and I'm thinking you've crossed yourself clean on another, just as divine in your eyes.
I could hear her behind the song, because you never know. I mean, someone could just rattle it off, but I can hear that it was meaning something to her when she was singing it, and that's just such a bonus.
Just as divine in your eyes.
Especially now with what I've been through in the last half a year, it means so much more.
Last October, Sharon lost the love of her life. Musician Alan Mansfield, one-time member of Dragon, and her partner of 40 years.
And I've just written the first song I've written in about 4 or 5 years probably. I just haven't been in the headspace to get it together, but I'm really happy with it. And it's something I had to do. It's a conversation with Alan, and it had to be said.
We'll have to wait to hear Sharon's new music. But for now, her forgotten gem from 1978 is helping to launch a new star. And does Sharon have any parting advice for young Sophie?
Oh, do what you're doing, because you sound lovely, so lovely.
Such a long time since you came to a service of mine, and I'm thinking you've crossed yourself clean on another, just as divine in your eyes.
And Sophie's version of Service of Mine is out now. The album's out at the end of June, and she's also performing at this year's Golden Guitars.